we might have a couple of the same games, but
Okay, bet.
all right, we're gonna starting out hot. We're gonna do 5 games. Looking forward to most anticipated games. Do we just want to go back and forth? And if we have a game,
Uh, yeah. Do you have yours like ranked?
no. I've got my not in order.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
but
you go ahead and start off, and then we'll just talk about each game.
okay, all right. So, starting off, Alabama versus Florida State.
Actually, I don't have that game on my list.
You took it off? Did you
I
not put
took it off.
Okay.
I took it off, but yes,
For
every
obvious
Bama fan is.
for obvious reasons now. For
Like,
obvious reasons.
Can I go on my
Yeah, go ahead.
this man that I like Castellanos, man. This man that got benched by Boston College is over here talking like he's been this threat to all of college football over the years, and is joining a team that won 2 games last year, and all of a sudden now Nick Saban needs to save us from him. Man, please, bro. Man, please. I cannot wait for. I think we win the game by 4 scores more than likely.
4 scores. Is that Florida State, ain't it?
It's at Florida State, yes.
That home, the home crowd. Home crowd's in effect there.
I don't want to hear it. They get one. They get one. What is it? The tomahawk chop in the first quarter. When they scored a touchdown, that'll be the only one they get.
Yeah. We'll see. This is part of my reasons too. Okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously a great reason. He's coming out firing, talking about Saban can't save. But that's part of the reasoning is I think with DeBoer there, and with Norvell, whoever loses, I mean they could go on and they could obviously go on and do decent in the rest of the season, but not a good look, especially for not saying it happens, but for DeBoer. If DeBoer were to lose that opening game, it's
I don't want to compare their scenarios too much though, because one coach did go 9-4 last year, and the other one went 2-10. But
the comparisons are not because one of them you are comparing to Saban. You got to compare him to Saban. The other's just on the hot seat.
Yeah, he's on the hot seat.
So,
but yeah,
so that's my first one, and then you can, let me.
Yeah, my number one, because I do have mine kind of in order, is Texas Ohio State, and I believe that's on your list.
It is on my list. Yeah.
Boom. So we got 2 off for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, here, my perspective, the storyline here is we have like 2 teams that are expected to be in national championship contention. You have the game last year and how it ended. What was that? The semifinal. And now they're expected to be so good. It seems like so many pieces are still there except for both quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And everybody's already, pre-picking Arch as a potential number 1 overall pick. We haven't seen enough from him yet, so we're going to get to see what he really is like against great competition in this game. And then the same thing on the other end is, what is Ohio State like in this? They're still in a quarterback fluid period, but with likely Julian Sand being a starter, a transfer from Bama, he was the number 1 quarterback in that class, I believe.
Yeah,
or number 2.
I think actually I just had it. Hold on. I think he was the number. Hold on. Number 1 player. Yeah, number 1 quarterback in the state of California.
Number 1 quarterback in the state of California.
And number one player in California too. So
guy with obvious talent that was expected to be good. This is only a second year of college, so
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to see how like both of them kind of mark their stamp. Because like if Julian Sand has a bad year, his chances of leaving year 3 drastically decrease. Like Cade Klubnik, you see how much longer it's taken him to get back into that first round draft conversation. So.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got. And with that matchup, it's all about quarterback play. I mean, this is Arch's first, I'm not going to say real test, but first start, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you're going to Columbus. So that place is going to be rocking. I think I don't know what time that kickoff is. I wish I would have put that. I don't think it's a night game. I think it's a noon game, ain't it?
I think it's a big noon game, yeah.
Yeah, big noon kickoff. Because apparently Texas didn't want to push it back. So
yeah,
another little storyline there. But
guess I'll go to my number 2 then.
Yeah.
If you want to do it like that.
Yeah.
This one I guess has personal ties to us a little bit. I got stuff invested in both these teams. I don't know if it's on your list, but I got Georgia Tech, Colorado, week 1.
I do. That's
okay. There it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see how our dog Eric Rivers does out there at receiver in his new situation with Haynes King and as his QB. And
preseason All-American.
Yeah, I've talked about my involvement with the Colorado roster. You know, back when it first. I don't know any of the guys now, but back when they first were creating it, my involvement with that, I'll always have an attachment to Prime and that team, and seeing what they look like. I mean, post Travis Hunter, post Shedeur Sanders, and I think the two teams are likely, when the season's said and done, going to be very similar caliber teams, like bowl eligible teams, not quite playoff teams, but. I think that's going to be like a really, really high-scoring, interesting matchup.
Yeah. So, and it's like, like you said, the post-Shedeur era, I'm assuming Caden Salter is going to be the starting quarterback.
Right.
That's
I think he is, yeah.
So you got a guy that was at Tennessee, goes and makes some noise at Liberty. Mm-hmm. How does that transition back to some big-time football? I'm not saying Liberty wasn't big-time football.
Right.
But you know.
But yeah, also I think the very interesting thing, and obviously we don't know what Colorado is going to look like with the new team, but like last year their styles were just so different. Like Colorado is all about spread you out, like spread out the ball. We're going to throw it 45 times in a game because we're not going to, be super physical on the interior. And it's the complete inverse for Georgia Tech, where it's like, hey, we're going to hit you as hard as we can, as many times as we can, and we're going to run this ball, and we're going to option you with Haynes King.
Yeah.
And it's all about time management and controlling the clock. So I think like the two styles being super different is going to be really cool to watch.
Yeah. That's about all I got for that game.
Matt, you want to go name one off it?
Yeah. We'll do. I got LSU and Clemson.
Okay, I don't have that one. Okay.
Clarifying, I don't know if I said this beginning. I can't remember. I think 4 out of my 5 games were week 1 games, which is, I could probably throw some other games in there, but a lot of questions. And you got my point of this is the quarterback play. You got 2 veterans in Garrett and Cade. You mentioned it. Cade's projected, I think, the number 1 quarterback in this class, which is, like I said, it's June, so it's really early. And then you got Garrett Nussmeier, who's not exceeded or been less of his expectations, in my opinion.
Right.
I think he's just been here. I think his ceiling's up here, but it's just been kind of here.
Yeah.
So I think that one's a quarterback battle.
I guess I think this is week. This isn't conference play, so I can't remember which week it's in. My next one. But it's going to be kind of similar to like the Texas-Ohio State storyline. Not with the quarterbacks, but with like it being 2 powerhouses. And that's going to be Oregon-Penn State. I'm just looking forward to seeing, one, what Oregon's going to look like, new quarterback in the building as well. And if every year it's this question, but can Penn State get over that hump, right? Can they beat one of these elite teams? Last year they were able to win a playoff game, but they haven't beat Ohio State yet. They haven't beat Oregon yet. So winning those games is going to be super important, especially when they've got as much talent. I mean, they've probably got the best running back room in the country right now. So I'm excited to see that one.
A point of emphasis for that is Drew Aller, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think expectations are high with him, just like with a couple other quarterbacks in this class. They didn't have that good of a downfield threat, in my opinion, last year. So can they make that jump this year?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good game to bring up. So, and especially with Evan Stewart being out, who's the guy that steps up.
I like DeCorian Moore. Funny fact about DeCorian Moore. I might have already mentioned this on the pod one time, but Decorian Moore, when he was a freshman in high school, I was looking through numbers of people that we were scouting that hadn't had no offers yet. And I found Decorian Moore from going through 100 times for freshmen in Texas, like 100-meter times. And I found him. I was like, man, who is this kid? He's super fast. Looked at his highlight tape, texted my boss. I was like, hey, I want to identify this guy as a future star. And lo and behold, 4 years later, number one receiver in the class, going to Oregon. It's kind of crazy. He had no offers.
So you found him. What I'm hearing is you're the one that found him and made him
a
star.
I don't want to take too much credit, but colleges, if you're out there looking for somebody to pay to be on your staff, man, I'm right here.
Scouting, player development right here, Shaw Pryor.
Hey, there it is.
All right, your turn. Well, actually, yeah, your turn. Just, like I said, we got a lot of similar games, so your turn.
Yeah, I've got two more left. I'll save the one we talked about off the record for last. But this is a rivalry game, end of the season. And you already mentioned this team, but I'm going to go Clemson, South Carolina.
Hold on. Yeah. Is this what you're saying? No. Okay, never mind. We're good.
All I'm saying is that I'm going to be excited to watch the game.
Yeah. Dude.
Go ahead. Well,
no, I'm just saying I went to the Palmetto Bowl last year.
Yeah.
At Clemson, and that was – I mean, I haven't been to many rivalry games outside of Tennessee rivalries.
Yeah.
That game was so nuts.
Really?
Yeah, it was insane. I'll say this, and then I'll let you finish your thing. Yeah. But do you know the tradition at Clemson of like them rushing the field after every game?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's Clemson rushes the field after every game, win or loss, and seeing all the South Carolina fans rush the field. And there was a fight. I might clip this in the actual podcast. There was a fight at the end of the game, and it was like the Clemson fans Clemson players on the 50-yard line defending the paw print, and it's just them, and then like literally all South Carolina fans around them. So it was nuts.
It was crazy.
But yeah, and then I was very adamant about this. No offense, Alabama fan here. It was interesting. It was interesting listening, going out of the stadium of all the fans talking about how a 9-3 South Carolina team should get in the playoffs over any of the other 9-3 teams.
Wow.
So that was yeah. But anyway, that's so anyways, yeah, you finish up, yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited to watch it. The theme I think here is quarterbacks, man. Mm-hmm. Like I'm excited to see if LaNorris Sellers takes another jump. You know, like this year he is draft eligible. So I'm excited to see like this number one quarterback spot, I think, is up for grabs. I don't think it's as solidified as people may want to make it seem.
Yeah.
But I would like to see LaNorris Sellers, Cade Klubnik go at it. Both of these teams were high-quality teams last year and are returning a lot of the people from last year, so I'm expecting to see a lot of the same. And it's a rivalry game, man, so it's going to be nasty. So I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, I'm pumped, dude. I didn't have that on my list. I should have. Now that we're talking about it, but I'll give mine. I'll give my last one.
Is this your last one? Yeah.
So this is. I mean, you can see in the back. You know.
We know.
I got Tennessee versus Georgia, and it's really just in the fact of this is an anticipated game for me because I'm going into the assumption that Joey Aguilar is the starting quarterback. And he's got one test with South Carolina, or no, sorry, not South Carolina, Syracuse. And then I think ETSU, and then he plays Georgia.
Yeah.
So he's playing a lot of big games. One of his better games was against Clemson, actually. But, you know, Clemson's not Georgia.
They're not.
And Georgia always has our number. I mean, we haven't beat them since Dobbs Hail Mary. So that's my point there. We need this. I'm gonna be honest.
Would you have been more confident if Nico was still there?
Yeah, straight up. I think so. Just because if you look up like Hendon Hooker's jump from year 1 to year 2,
mm-hmm.
And then like I said, I think Joe Milton was overhated in my opinion. I stand by that guy. I'm a little biased because I like him a lot more than others. But
Yeah.
Joe Milton didn't have a great season. He had a bad season though. So I think Nico in year 2 would have done better than Nico in year 1. Also, it's a home game, so we've got that playing in our and Nealon, Checker Nealon too. So you never know. But so yeah, but also the quarterback play at Georgia too. I mean,
Yeah.
Carson Beck's gone. I'm assuming Gunner's the starting quarterback.
Yeah,
There's no assumption
Gunner's
there.
a starter. Yeah.
There's no assumption there. And then the weapons they bring in, they brought Zach Branch. Who else? They got that guy. They brought in a couple weapons at receiver.
Yeah, I know they got Zach Branch.
Yeah. So which they had the most drops in the SEC last year.
Yep.
That's not happening this year. I'm telling you that. So we'll see. We'll see. And another question. Well, another not question, I guess, but a point. The secondary is good, but with Jermon McCoy being out, who steps up in that position, which I think Colton Hood's going to do just fine. But
yeah, he came up from Colorado, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my last, I guess, game that I've got that's not overlapping. So.
All right. Well, to close this out, I guess I'll close this out on a low note. So you went with your Vols for your last one. I'm gonna go with my Tide. I had a lot of games to choose from, man. I thought about Bama, Tennessee, revenge game because y'all are coming to Tuscaloosa. Thought about the same thing for Vandy because there's been a lot of talk with them too.
Dude, that could have made it.
That really could have made it. It really almost did. I thought about the Florida State.
Yeah.
And I thought about Oklahoma. All of the games we lost, they're all coming to Bama this year. But the game I'm going with is Alabama versus the University of Louisiana Monroe. Week 2.
You gotta put an asterisk.
That's the game I'm looking most forward
to.
Look, I'm looking forward to the blowout. So for the people that don't know, I am now a sports reporter in the city of Monroe in Louisiana. Thank you. So a lot of the people that I work with are ULM grads. And while they know they aren't going to win, they sure talk like they think they're going to. So I just sent it to the dry cleaners, the outfit. I've got my Bama khakis going. I've got a Bama polo. I have my Bama shoes and socks ready for me to wear to work for the first time after the week 2 win, just to taunt everybody.
Yeah.
And I will also likely be covering the Louisiana Monroe press conference the Monday after the game in my Bama polo, Bama shoes.
You're gonna show up in your Bama stuff?
I have to, man. I have to rep. I can't not do it. So that's the game I'm looking forward to.
They're just gonna walk in knowing you're just coming out with some.
That one in LSU. Those are the 2 games we have to win this year for me in the office. I said I'm gonna bring people Bama shirts from my vast collection from the documentary to wear in the office if we win that LSU game, which we will.
With the LSU game? Hold on. Did you say LSU game?
Yeah.
I missed. Whoa! I missed that.
I was just saying those are the 2 games that we have to win this year since that I have to win for work purposes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Which is at, isn't it? It's out. Blah, blah. It's
at
Alabama this year.
It's in Tuscaloosa.
Well, let's just hope something doesn't happen because we know how the USF games have gone.
Hey.
But I'm just
not worried about USF. We're done with USF. We are focused on ULM.
Hey, which shout out Grubb coming back because that's big.
Yes, sir.
That's big for the program. Ryan Williams is probably going to go off now.
Yeah, I think our receiving core is. I think Jeremy Bernard is so underrated, man. It's a good dude. But he's such an underrated athlete. I think he's going to have a great year back in the system that he's familiar with. That's what everybody sleeps on is he came from Washington with DeBoer and Grubb.
Yeah.
So he's going to be the most familiar with this system. Horton, I think, is going to be a nice big play threat, with that size. And then we got so many shifty slot guys and Cole Adams. We got Jalen Mbakwe, who's now in the slot. Lloyd Brooks, the freshman, is going to be there. Like I'm really excited for this year. I think we have the best defense in the country returning. And I'm excited, man.
We got another question though,
Okay.
which I think is a question for a lot of teams in this country right now.
Yeah.
Will Ty Simpson make the jump? Is that
Okay.
that's
Yeah. It's going to determine a lot of how far we go, right? I believe Ty can be as good as Jalen was. And I do think
there's
that,
a but there, right?
but in a different way, right? Not with the athleticism,
Yeah.
right? But Ty is athletic, man. Ty can run. People
I
are
was getting
asleep
more
on
like
that.
I was more like the arm. The
Oh,
arm.
like the arm. The arm isn't as strong as Jalen's either.
He's got to be more accurate, though, right?
But he's more accurate than Jalen. I think he is a better quick processor than Jalen. So I think those things will play in the benefit, and I think he can be a system quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we saw a lot of system quarterbacks succeed last year. Ohio State did not win it with a quarterback that was a world beater.
I will say,
and I don't think Notre Dame's quarterback was a world beater either.
No. I will say though, watching Will Howard, like being at that game, that playoff game, I don't know if it's just like it wasn't a fluke because they went bam, bam, bam.
They did it, everybody, yeah.
But Will Howard, man, he was making some some throws, and I'm like, well, he hasn't made this ever in his career.
Yeah.
But not taking away from your point, you got a great point there. So,
I think we'll be able to get it done. I think that was the case for a majority of the teams in the playoffs. Like Quinn Ewers was never a world beater, but was able to take them where. Granted, he's super talented. I'm trying to think. Indiana, I can't think of the name of their quarterback. I think it was like Mendoza.
Yes.
I was like something like that, but he was solid. But all these were quarterbacks that can play within the system, and I think Ty is that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got, man.
Cool,
so,
man.
Heck yeah, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it, dude.
Of course, man. Hey, just give me a call whenever, man. I can make it on short notice.
Sounds good.
Yeah.